Human reproduction is ultimate important chapter for the NEET exam. So in the analysis I have seen from 2010 to 2020, 64 questions have come from this single chapter. So it means what? Minimum 5 to 6 question or more than 5 questions every year repeatedly from this chapter. Some topics are going to be asked. So, this is the most important chapter that you should not forget. So, from NCERT textbook, some important points line by line, I have made this video. Please go through this and till end note down all the points, and I am going to promise you that this notes is going to be very helpful for you. So, children, regarding Leydig cells and bulbourethral gland, I will come back to you. Let us start with male reproductive system. So, if you see the diagram, you will come to know in the male reproductive system, the external genitalia includes penis. External genitalia includes penis, and penis has a special tissue, erectile tissue, that helps in erection, and the front part of the penis is covered by a loose skin that is called as foreskin. And remember, the accessory glands of male reproductive system includes seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and bulbourethral gland. And here I have mentioned the function of bulbourethral gland. It helps in the lubrication of penis during coitus, whereas the all these accessory glands are going to secrete some secretion which is rich in fructose, calcium, and some enzymes. Okay, so this is going to be added into the semen. The secretions of these accessory glands are going to be added into the semen. And accessory ducts that helps to carry sperm and semen includes rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. Very important. In NCERT textbook, line by line, I have seen and made this simple notes for your sake. And when you see the testis length is about 4 to 5 centimeter and width is 2 to 3 centimeter, and it is situated in a pouch called scrotum. Remember, children, scrotum main function is it is going to maintain low temperature, around 2 to 2.5 degree Celsius, lesser than our body temperature, and that low temperature is very helpful in sperm production, that is called as spermatogenesis. Here is a transverse section that shows seminiferous tubule. You can find between one seminiferous tubule and another seminiferous tubule, you can find a space called interstitial space. There you can find a special cells called interstitial cells or Leydig cells. And remember, Leydig cells main function present in the interstitial site is to produce a male sex hormone called androgen. Okay, so Leydig cell function what? It is going to produce male sex hormone, that is androgens like testosterone. Then in the lining of seminiferous tubule has male germ cells that helps in the production of sperms. And inside the seminiferous tubule you can find Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells helps in the nourishment of these germ cells, so that they can produce sperms. Okay, so then the pathway of sperm, very important to the exam. Pathway of sperms, the sperms produced in the seminiferous tubule comes to rete testis, then it will go to vasa efferentia, then epididymis, then vas deferens, then ejaculatory duct, urethra, and urethral meatus. The terminal part is urethra. So after vas deferens, the sperm are going to unite with the seminal secretion by seminal vesicle. Then together with that, it will come to ejaculatory duct. So remember the pathway of the sperm: rete testis to vasa efferentia to epididymis to vas deferens, then finally to the ejaculatory duct. Now come to female reproductive system. It is having external genitalia, vagina, cervix, uterus, fallopian tube, and ovary. These are the parts of female reproductive system. In addition to this, mammary glands are together mammary glands and the above mentioned organs together act as a integrated structurally and functionally to perform very important functions in female reproductive system, which includes ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and child care. These are the functions are going to performed by mammary glands and these female reproductive system parts. Then if you see ovary, ovary is considered as a primary sex organ, like how in male's testis, in female ovary is a primary sex organ which helps in the production of gamete called ovum or egg. In addition to that, it is going to produce some ovarian hormone, and ovary normally is of 2.4 length, and the with the help of ligament ovary is going to connect to pelvic wall and uterus. With the help of ligament ovary connects to the pulmonary pelvic wall and uterus, and ovary is covered by epithelium and encloses a part called stroma. Ovary outer is covered by epithelium and inside it is having stroma, and stroma has two parts, that is peripheral cortex and inner medulla. Okay, the stroma has two parts, peripheral cortex and inner medulla. And remember about fallopian tube or oviduct or fallopian tube, around 10 to 12 centimeter length, and it has a part like fimbriae that helps to collect the ovum from the ovary. Fimbriae part, what a fallopian tube has a fimbriae, finger like projections called fimbriae. What is the function? It collects the ovum released by the ovary after ovulation, then followed by a funnel shaped part of fallopian tube called infundibulum, then whiter part is called as ampulla, then the last part of the fallopian tube that joins with the uterus is called as isthmus. And remember, fertilization occurs between ampullary isthmic junction, there fertilization is going to occur. Now come to the next part, a pear-shaped part called as womb or uterus. It is also one of the important part of female reproductive system, and with the help of ligament, the uterus is going to attach to the pelvic wall. And remember children, uterus has three layers, external perimetrium, middle myometrium and inner endometrium. And here you must remember the function of myometrium and endometrium. Middle myometrium undergoes strong contraction after the 9 months of the pregnancy, that helps in delivery, that helps in parturition. Whereas inner layer endometrium, it undergoes cyclic changes every month during menstruation cycle. Okay, and because of the breakdown of endometrium, there is a menstrual flow. Remember that. Then female external genitalia has 5 parts. Which are those? Mons pubis, which is a cushion fatty acid covered by hair, pubic hair and skin. Then labia majora, fleshy folds of the tissue. Labia minora, paired folds of the tissue under labia majora. An important one, hymen. It is partially covers the opening of vagina. The vagina opening is partially covered by a structure called hymen. Now come to clitoris. It's a tiny finger like a structure lies at the upper junction of two labia majora. These are the external genitalia of female reproductive system. Now very important, when you see mammary gland, it has two parts. One is it has a variable amount of fat that helps in that gives support. It has a variable amount of fat. Second is glandular tissue that helps in the formation of milk. The glandular tissue has 15 to 30 mammary lobes. It has a clusters of cells called alveoli. And alveoli are going to secrete the milk. And alveoli opens into mammary tubule. Mammary tubules joins to form mammary duct. Mammary duct joins to form ampulla, and ampulla finally opens in lactiferous duct through which the milk is going to eject. Then remember children, primary spermatocyte is diploid, which undergo meiosis to produce sperms. Primary spermatocyte is diploid and it is undergo meiosis to produce haploid sperms. And remember, spermatogenesis is the synthesis of sperm. Spermiogenesis means transformation of spermatids into spermatozoa. Transformation of non-motile inactive spermatids to active motile spermatozoa is called as spermiogenesis. And another important definition, spermiation. Spermiation means release of sperm from the seminiferous tubule. Release of sperms from the seminiferous tubule is called as spermiation. And remember, one of the gonadotrophin, that is luteinizing hormone act on the Leydig cells present in the interstitial cells of the testes that helps to produce male sex hormone called androgen. That is the function of luteinizing hormone act on Leydig cells, and Leydig cells are going to produce male sex hormone called androgen. Then remember, the acrosomal part of the acrosomal enzyme of the sperm. At the head region, there is a part called acrosome in the sperm that helps in fertilization of ovum. The acrosomal enzyme helps in the fertilization of ovum. Then remember, puberty. At puberty, we can find menarche, that is the first menstruation is going to begin, and menopause is the cessation of menstrual cycle. And remember, luteinizing hormone, when it is at peak level at the 14th day of menstruation cycle, there is a surge of luteinizing hormone that is responsible for ovulation, rupturing of Graafian follicle and release of egg, that is called ovulation, is because of LH surge. And remember, zygote, after fertilization, the zygote consists of 46 chromosomes, 23 from father, 23 from mother, 46 chromosomes, diploid number of chromosomes you can find. And 18 to 16 blastomere is considered as embryo. 18 to 16 blastomere is considered as embryo. Then remember, trophoblast is the outer layer of blastomere in blastocyst. Blastocyst outer layer is called as trophoblast, and chorionic villi is a finger-like projections of trophoblast. Okay, on the trophoblast you can find some finger-like projections which are called as chorionic villi. And umbilical cord, with the help of umbilical cord, embryo connects to the placenta, and the milk secreted in the initial few days of lactation is called as colostrum. The milk secreted in the initial few days of lactation is called colostrum, which is rich in immunoglobulins, especially IgA, that gives immunity to the developing child. And during after the first month of pregnancy, the heart is going to be fully formed. And remember, placenta is considered as structural functional unit between developing embryo and maternal body. Between mother and embryo, there is a structural and functional unit that is called as placenta. And remember, oxytocin is the hormone responsible for uterine contraction that helps in delivery, that helps in parturition. And we know the middle piece of the sperm has mitochondria, and that responsible for the production of energy. Okay, middle piece have mitochondria that produce energy for the motility of the sperm. And remember, children, capacitation is going to occur in female reproductive tract. Now, what is capacitation? Capacitation is where the spermatozoa acquire the capacity to fertilize the egg. Spermatozoa acquired the capacity to fertilize the egg, that is called as capacitation. Remember, very important point this one for the exam. Now, after ovulation, Graafian follicle converts to yellow colored body called corpus luteum. After ovulation, in the ovary, ruptured Graafian follicle converts to yellow body called corpus luteum. And remember, corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland in the humans. Corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland. Why? Because that corpus luteum produce progesterone and estradiol. Majorly progesterone, and for small amount estradiol is going to be produced. And in absence of fertilization, this corpus luteum is going to degenerate. If there is no fertilization, the corpus luteum converts to corpus albicans, white color corpus albicans. And remember, in follicular phase. Follicular phase is the second phase of menstrual cycle. Menstrual phase, follicular phase, secretory phase and luteal phase. So in the follicular phase of menstrual cycle, we can find the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormones are going to increase. That stimulates the follicular development and helps in the production of estrogen, female sex hormone. I'll repeat. See, in the follicular phase of menstrual cycle, luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone concentration increases. That stimulates the development of follicles, primary follicle to secondary, secondary to tertiary, tertiary to Graafian follicle, and also helps to produce female sex hormone called estrogen. Okay, then fertilization. Only if sperms, fertilization occur only if sperm and ovum transferred at a time simultaneously. Okay, if the release of sperm and release of ovum occur simultaneously at the ampullary ischemic junction, then fertilization rate will be maximum in that case. Remember, then ovarian follicle of the ovary, ovarian follicles of the ovary has granulosa cells. Okay, ovarian follicles of the ovary has granulosa cells, and they has a negative feedback effect on the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone by hypothalamus. Remember, ovarian follicles has a granulosa cells. If the ovarian follicles mature enough to release the egg, then they negatively suppress the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone. Already follicles matured, no need of follicle stimulating hormone. Then the granulosa cells are going to suppress, decrease the secretion of FSH by hypothalamus. Then remember, increased estrogen and progesterone, both are female sex hormone. Increase the level of estrogen and progesterone also shows negative feedback on the hypothalamus to release the gonadotrophin, LH and FSH. Okay, LH and FSH are the gonadotrophin hormones. So the gonadotrophin releasing hormones by hypothalamus is going to release. So that is going to be slow down. That is going to be negatively feedback mechanism done by increased level of estrogen and progesterone. Then placenta also act as a endocrine gland because it secretes human chorionic gonadotrophin, human placental lactogen, estrogen and progesterone. These are the hormones produced by placenta, and it is also going to produce oxytocin during parturition. Okay, after the during delivery time, placenta also secretes another hormone called oxytocin that helps in parturition. And remember, Nimbernkarn is a mitochondrial structure present in the sperms of certain insects. Certain insects has a structure called Nimbernkarn, that is a mitochondrial structure present in the sperms of some insects. Then remember, antrum is the part where there is a fluid in the Graafian follicle. Ectopic pregnancy means if the embryo is implanted somewhere other than uterus. For example, instead of uterus, if it is implanting in the fallopian tube, then such type of pregnancy is called as ectopic pregnancy, that is not going to be fulfilled. Instead of uterus, if implantation is done somewhere else, then it is called as ectopic pregnancy. And remember, the steps involved in sperm formation, first spermatogonia, then spermatocyte, then spermatid, then finally spermatozoa is going to be formed. Then viability of the sperm means capacity of the sperms to fertilize the egg. Viability of the sperm means capacity of the sperm to fertilize the egg. Then placenta and fully developed fetus, they originate the signal for parturition. Okay, placenta and fully developed fetus, they originate the signals for parturition. Okay, that responsible for the release of oxytocin hormone that helps in parturition. Then Bartholin glands or bulbovestibular glands are present behind the labia majora that lubricates the vagina during coitus. Okay, Bartholin glands are bulbovestibular glands that helps in the lubrication of vagina. And remember, cleavage is the division of cells during embryonic growth. Cleavage is the division of cells during embryonic growth. Okay, within this 20 minutes I try to complete all the important points of this chapter. Please go through this. If any kind of problem, you can free to mention in the comments. And if you like the video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.